Not working, ma'am. Earlier I worked, but right now I'm free at home only.
Okay. You're studying. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Ma'am, I have 2 daughters.
Okay. How old are they?
My elder daughter is doing MBBS final year.
Hello.
And younger one is engineering, ma'am.
Wow, beautiful. Very good. Very good, Manjula. Which university? This medicine, engineering and all?
Medicine is she's doing in Karimnagar.
Mm-hmm.
Chelimeda Engineering, Chelimeda Medical College.
Okay. Is it a good college?
Yeah, good only, ma'am.
Oh,
And
good.
younger one is in Gokaraj Rangaraju.
Oh, in Hyderabad.
Yeah, in Hyderabad.
Wonderful. Very good. Very good college.
Yeah.
So very good, ma. The daughters are precious. They're all precious now.
Yes, ma'am. What about you, ma'am?
Me, I have, I'm studying, I'm working, and again, I'm working in AMS college.
Okay.
Yeah, I had 2 children, but daughter and son. Daughter is working, and son is also preparing for some exams.
Okay.
Yeah, government service. So trying for that. Yeah. That way.
Ma'am, you have very good memory power, ma'am.
Wow, really?
I always say with my daughters, see, ma'am, she's having very good memory power. And you always forget. They say, I forgot. What is the, I mean, how you remember? Once we say our names also, you just remember it.
Yeah, that's, I think, I don't know. It's a quality in the journalism, journalist also.
Okay.
And you should, as a journalist, you should remember.
Yes.
And that's a great quality, I think. I don't know, because I was taught that way in my profession, because I'm from the industry.
Okay.
So I'm from print media. I also worked in television, Doordarshan.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm teaching, and yeah, I have hands in production also. Oh yeah, that is important in teaching also. That helps you in teaching. If you have a hands in different area, you know, you can handle any class at any way. So even I taught in Symbiosis University, media loss and all. So that and health communication that way. So even teaching varied subjects also definitely help others. You know, we can narrate the story, we can narrate the examples and all. We can quote examples and relate to your profession, subject, and you can correlate any theories are there. Okay, and now when you see, as it is related to the theories, so obviously we have to depend on the theories and all, right? Suppose there is organizational communication is there, social cultural communication is there, and different theories are you come across, right? So when you're dealing with the different theories and all, for example, agenda setting theory, what is called agenda setting theory? So obviously, it all depends on the how newsworthy it is. Each and every organization prefer to have a better content where they can have a good story. They can narratology can be different from different again indifferent from other competitive edge of the newspapers and all, right? For example, media could be channel or anything. So when you think about the commodity, consider related to the content is a commodity, right? So in that manner, how your organization is going to set an example and relate to the content development or distribution or supply, where you can find different varied audience will be known the content which you produced, or could say that delivered to them, right? So that way you can become agenda in the public opinion, right? So that's called agenda setting. So right, for example, now we are in health communication, and much of the I could say communication or information being delivered in the health management or health related issues and all, because now the pandemic and all. And also commerce. For example, when you take the economics, and you take about the now the price rise is there in RTC buses also. So for example, when you do a project report, maybe you want to take a study, why the TSRTC like increase the bus rate? Maybe after April 1st, I think. I don't know. Okay. So yeah, when you come across the many varied customers and all, because the travelers, I could say the passengers, commuters, I could say that. So when you come across the commuters, when you ask them, you can question them. Okay, you can come to no conclusion that because, and you can ask, can always ask them, yes, why the price rise increased in RTC buses? Is it due to losses and all? Is it due to the expansion business? Or is it due to the, maybe like relate to the oil price, or maybe due to some Ukraine war, Russian war and all? So we can find out from the public only. And when you did the story on this particular exclusive story, okay, I'm using the exclusive story because you're covering a great point of view, a story where you can cover, you can get from the public and all, because you get the taste and likes of the public and what they're thinking about a particular issue be known to you, and when you reach to the public immediately after the budget, maybe after the after any issues taken up, right? Now, recently, so that's the reason that become agenda setting. When you do exclusive stories, relate to the social contemporary issues, maybe contemporary, social issues, and maybe social causes and all. And you do so to story that become exclusive story and become an agenda setting theory. Now, recently, Telangana government also in Telangana state, the people, that is women, are increasing in obesity. They are increasing in weight. What is the reason? So when you take up this issue, or you can take a search, or you can even check it out with your questionnaire or could schedule, if at all you want to do a case study, if at all you want to empirical study and all. Right, ma? So yeah, recently when the ICMR and NIAN want to take up this issue, why the obesity is increasing, why the obesity is there in Telangana right now, why they're not, it decreased after postponed pandemic. This is a new development that I come across in relate to the obesity among the women, right? So actually, no, yeah, I could see when I visit so many, when I visit the parks and all, I could see women are, at least 30 plus, 35 plus. No, they could easily make out the obesity and all. So that become a great state study, and NIN want to take up this as a project in assignment and submit to the government of India, and including the state as well as central government, right? So obviously, it become in the research, they become ahead in the in related to obesity post-pandemic, right? So that become an agenda setting theory, right, ma? So yeah, when you relate to this each and every case, see, when you read, you come across so many examples in your daily life, and you come across so many problems and all, right? Now, recently we have, different cultures are available in Hyderabad. Many festivals are celebrated in Hyderabad, also exclusive India, exclusive Hyderabad, and also all over India. So we had a Bishu was celebrated, okay, and Bihu was celebrated, okay, and also Ugadi celebrated, right? In different countries, different states, and different with the different names and all. So when you think and relate to the maybe say to the cultural communication, or could say the cultural affinity, or could say the social cultural festivities, mood, or could say festival fit in different states and all. So we can find out in from the public what their culture and all, what they do, and the particular on the particular day. For example, Ugadi, a special occasion for Telugus and all. I think what they do in Karnataka is quite different from the Andhra and Telangana. We make the pachadi with all 5 ingredients, right? I think పంచతత్వం ఉంటాయి కదా దాంట్లో, అర్థమైందా? సో ఇదంతా కూడా ఎందుకు అంటే, why? Because so distinguished from each and every state, but still we are united. Still we celebrate Bihu, and again Vishu, New Year. I think Vishu is a New Year in Tamil Nadu also, in Kerala also, right, ma? So మనం ఎప్పుడైతే మనం ఇట్లా when you know something related to the cultural information about each and every state, or relate to the each and every country also, we could say that, right? So that become great information for us, right, ma? So these are all things to be adapted by us in the communication, and we had to implement in your research study and all. For example, now when you open a newspaper, you can find different issues being covered. We cannot do all the case studies, all the research and all the issues and all the newspapers and all. So it's possible. So that's the reason when you take a mini issue or any further research and all, how best this theory is applicable in the communication theories. How this theory is applicable and also can really do my best in relate to my thought as well as my nature, the concern, and also relate to your observation, your experience, your exposure, vagara, vagara. Right. So when you know this, yes, this is the topic I would like to take up this under the communication theory as a part of my research or assignment and all. So yeah, so you have so many assignments have been taken up right now, right? So when you taken up this as an assignment, you had to really go back, you had to go through an in-depth study about each and everything related to that. Then only you can do the work. For example, when you think about communication accommodation theory. So what is called communication accommodation theory? Mean to say that we have to adjust, accommodate with others. This is a lifestyle. No, that's a communication accommodation theory. So it could be verbal or non-verbal styles. Mean to say that, suppose I want to, because if I need any work, what I do, I just speak to them, I speak to the person. Otherwise, I won't. My intent only to get the job done. That you mean to say that you communicate when your need arises, right? You mean to say that you're going to adjust, accommodate yourself with the person when you want to get the things done, right? So that way, each could be verbal or non-verbal. Non-verbal means body language, maybe with the eye movement, with the ishara, with the hand movement and all. Maybe the body language may impulse, or even it also impulse you. It also convey to you. It also communicate to you with the help of the body language. Is it clear? So suppose very angry and all. You don't want to convey something. Maybe you don't want to him or her to be in your party or could be in a group and all. So what do you do? You just glance at her in a very angry moment. You just glance at him or her in a very red eyes. So I mean to say that even that girl or a woman or a boy can really understand your glance or look, where you can, maybe if they're not interested, what they do, they just move away from the group and all. So don't you there, you're also communicating, and also is able to understand your language, that is your non-verbal language, in the form of communication. Right. So obviously we have to identify each and everything. See, there are divergence cultures are available in India. Divergence languages are there. Different languages are there. Different cultures are available, but still we are united. We converge at place. At which place? In the festivals, maybe in the puja part and all, maybe the marriage party and all, maybe birthday party and all, right? We come from different places and all, different locations, different places, different cultures with different dress code, different, with the different birthday gifts and all. I may give in the gold, you may give in the silver, somebody give in the, maybe a painting and all. So that all, if they were all divergent audience will be there with a different idea. And when you think about them, obviously, they in a very proper way. Is it clear? For example, recently we had a national culture festival in NTR Garden. I think, have you been, Manjula? So here, when you think about this, we have different, you could see that India in a very a variety of folks are available. So that's what they want to mean to say, that they want to increase, they want to improve the cultural affinity, or they want to improvise the way the culture lies, because India lies in the villages, lies in the folk art, folk songs, folk dance, folk music. Right. When you find, in Maharashtra, big drum will be the huge drum. Have you seen that Maharashtra big drum will be there? No, especially during Ganesh Chaturthi Nimajjanam, immersion that day, they become huge. Procession will be there in the roads of Mumbai. They want to, with the big drum, the beat on the drum, unimaginable. The sounds are good for you when you're in a good mood, when you accommodate yourself to the particular situation and particular instrument. Otherwise, if you're not interested, even that sounds also irritates you. You may get, and again, you may get dislike the sound, and you may move away, or you may shout at somebody, and you definitely you have developed some grudge on somebody, and definitely that because it's not doesn't sound so good for you, right, ma? So that's the reason we need to have social approval for any program or any festival look, festival celebration, right, ma? So when you think about social, what is called social approval, and think about communication, accommodation, obviously we have to, because we invite the people and all. For example, when you have the marriage is there, so what do you do? What is called social approval? Mean to say that marriage is designated a place and date and time when you've been fixed for the girl and boy, where they can get married. Okay, so mean to say that though they are good friends, and with the different, both family come together, both with the Gotra and all, right, ma? So they have the Pujari or maybe the Panditji, they take the Muhurt and all, and where they can fix the date and all, fix the venue, fix the Muhurt and all. So that is called, and when have a marriage been adapted in the particular time and all, in a location, then the people will come and join and do Akshita. They did just Ashirvad and all. So this is a part of social approval. Right, ma? So, yeah, this is the way you communication styles to the person with whom we speak. And again, we accommodate ourselves, and we generally, we move ourselves and all, right? Now, when I think about, especially when I think about the army, army with defense, they accommodate very well. They have to accommodate, they have to, they have to, adjust for all the seasons, for all the situations, at all the altitude and seasons. So suppose the placed person, the BSF Jawan, or maybe PSF officer, the placed in Andaman Nicobar Island, may ask to shift to maybe HP, maybe in Shimla and all, where they could find some communal unrest was there. So this is the gentleman, this is the officer who can handle such situation very well. So he'll be the demand, obviously he'll be lifted from the Andaman Nicobar Island to the Shimla, because there he want to find the situation in proper way. That's the reason we have to accommodate wherever you're posted. And is it clear to you? So that way you have to, that is our style we live. That is the way you have to live. Accommodation and and adjust as per the requirement and need, and again you're also willing to stay with them, right? Yeah. Now, even I told you about what is cultivation theory. What is called cultivation theory? Mean to say that here it argued the media shapes a person's sense of reality, because many acquire information through mediated sources rather than direct experience. See, I have my own notion about reservation, right? And maybe relate to any, may I say that maybe marriage, intercaste marriage and all. Even the Supreme Court, government of Supreme Court has given the direction that it's better to have intercaste marriages, where they can have communal harmony can be developed. But how far it is true, how accepted by the seniors, by the elder persons in the family, along with the younger generation, is a question mark, right? So obviously, when you have this, a sense of reality has come into society, okay, and relate to the information, relate to that particular decision by the Supreme Court, relate to the intercaste marriages, okay, where they can have a better harmony, can prevail in the society and all. But it's very difficult to follow, very difficult to accept by the society, because few may accept, but not all, right? That way, what I'm telling you, what I'm intend to say is that the reality is that the persons in the society, because the media shapes them to think in better way. It influences you. What? Because the product, the information provided by the media vehicles or in the technology, they shapes you in a better way, and they will influence you to understand a better way, or to get the information that you can think in a process in a positive way. See, I had a wrong notion when a student in arts college. I was scared of to go to Mumbai, because I had a wrong notion. I was not aware, and even I was not aware that Mumbai is a beautiful place. right? If at all you get the accommodation, if you get the transportation, even transportation not a big problem for there. But if you get the accommodation and good position is there, good position, good and again good park is there for you, salary. It's like Jannat only. It's like a swargam. So I was not aware. I was not ready that I was not even aware that Mumbai is such a beautiful place. But when I've been there, started working in the Times of India. Okay. And I could realize the importance of the Mumbai. And I could realize the importance of the people. I could realize the importance of the working in the Times of India at that moment, I could and the importance because we could accommodate ourselves, the cultural, even I could cultivate my because I could cultivate my understanding working in Mumbai, okay, in a better place. Is it clear? So that way we cultivate in very influenced by with the help of the media or with some persons in the art. So when you meet the people, even our our thinking may differ, may definitely improve. Is it clear? So that way, the cultivation theory also suggests the people you can define in a better way. Suppose what happens when you're watching a television a program on violent films or maybe programs have been shown on television. Okay, heavy violence is on television, and people are glued to the television. Especially, I could see that. I know what happens. Recently when you had Taj corridor, I think you're aware of the what happened in November, when 2012. Yeah, which year? I have no idea. I unable to recollect. Okay, ma. So we had a Taj corridor. We had a Taj, hotel Taj in Mumbai was under garrison. I could see that under extremists and all, terrorists and all. It was garrison. It was and again it was couldn't even the army could not do that. The commanders has to join, and the black commander has to join in protecting the Taj Mahal and all. So at that moment, all the all the channels were and the Maru and Kun stationed at that particular place and all. Though from far away, but still they are in a war zone. I could say that. Right, so then they were given that is all the channels, including the print media, giving the updated information lively only. The channels were projecting or delivering the lively or live telecast there. It was so phobiatic from. It was so fearsome. And I was sitting in Hyderabad. I'm telling you, sitting in Hyderabad, you can visualize the things what's going to happen in the next moment. How this that two here terrorists were in the Taj, I could visualize the things. I could easily make out. Is it clear? So that means to say that the live telecast has has impact that way, and we cultivate pure influence that way, and phobia has come up in us. A fearsome has come up in us. So me to say we are so we are so fearful that even feel like we're not to go outside. We're so fearsome that we're not unable to go out, step out from the house. That was a impact created live telecast when think about Taj corridor at that moment and all. Right? You can just check it out at that moment how the live telecast has created, impacted the audience, where they were stayed, where they were stationed. Not even imagine how the Mumbaikars were experienced at that moment and all. Right, children? Yeah. So that's the reason I'm telling you. Then someone petitioned in the Supreme Court. How can the Doordarshan, including Doordarshan, that's the voice, the government and other private channels, could go for the live telecast on the carnage in what's in going on in I could say the Taj Mahal, right? So thus then the Supreme Court guided and again give it the direction for the Information Broadcasting Ministry, stop live telecast. Stop giving live telecast. That instruction given by the Supreme Court to the IVM Ministry, immediately let us stop giving live coverage. So imagine. So is it clear to you? The cultivates influence of the media on the public immense. Is it clear? So that way, the cultivation theory, when you show this violent figure, violence is shown on the television closely and again repeatedly, definitely influence you. It cultivates a phobia. It cultivates in you. That's the reason. See, children, it's very easy to learn the bad habits, bad manners, bad culture, bad language, than the good language, than the good manners, than the good culture, good nature. Very difficult to accept that. Nobody will accept yes. When I use the bad word, yeah, I can easily. But will I rectify myself and use a good word? Very difficult to accept that. I'm telling you. So this way we have to live in society, right? So yeah, that's the reason you should avoid the violent behavior. That's the reason the media impulses you, the media impacts you in a very, very effective way. It cultivates, a sense of reality, a sense of, I could say that, experience you could gain on watching the television, right? Now, there is another, I could say the theory is also known as cultural studies, right? So, yeah, in relate to what is cultural studies? A beautiful subject. This is a very beautiful subject related to the cultural studies, cultures of different nations, different states, different districts. Beautiful subject. It's an innovative subtopic. I think 10 years or maybe 15 years old in India, but abroad and other universities already is well evaluated, also followed, and again a lot of research was undertaken. So when you think about different university, for example, Oxford University, Harvard University, Wellington University, with abroad universities, they want to read or they can study the Indian culture in the Jharkhand. Is it clear? There may be recently there was also, yeah, I will tell you one thing. There was also related to the tribal tribal, what is that? Just tell you one second. The tribal signify the signs and symbols. Signs and symbols. They want to take up this particular research. A huge project is undertaken by the Indian government, by different universities. I just read right now. Okay, maybe 2 days back, I think. So the painter said that the tribal signs and symbols. What is it could understand by that? Yeah, see, when think about Jharkhand, when think about different Koya Jati, and think about Andhra and Telangana. Okay, do they have a script? Is it deciphered? Undeciphered. Is it readable? Unreadable. Right. So when it's readable, it means it has some script. Right. It's unscripted, undeciphered. Because the symbols, signs and symbols cannot understand. No, you can find the symbol of hearts. Right. So even think in the civilization, where the signs and symbols were there. So now, because the cultural studies relate to the signs and symbols of the tribal. Okay. When had a Gond, Gond language was also spoken and undertaken research. A huge project has undertaken. Gond language, Gondus, in Adilabad. Okay. Even they have the language, even they have the culture, even they have the understanding, even they have the literature. Is it clear? Even they can speak, they can understand, they have their own festivities, they can have their own prayers and all, right? They believe the fire and God, right? Yeah, Panchatattva. They also believe in that, right? So when you come across such cultures and they want to inform the public and all, because I was not aware unless I came to know, unless I went to the Gondu Jati's the director or the head of the village in Telugu University, long back, I think maybe 6-7 years back. Okay, because it was a news for me. Yeah, though I could understand, though I could hear it, but when I see through my eyes, the symbols and the language were very wonderful. Right, children? So I mean to say that these are the cultural studies you have to undertake where the mass media represents ideologies of dominant class in a society. It is mean to say that the media is influenced by profit. Since corporations run the media, culture studies theories are curious about the effect of power on culture. Right, children? So we know how the independence at the time of the independence or the media was. Okay, how the media has shaped the mindset of the Indian people before the independence. how does influence the mindset of the people? They can join the mainstream of the in the mainstream of freedom fight, or freedom freedom fight against the freedom, or fight against the British Raj and all. Is it clear? So when you think about this, obviously, we had to think in the cultures adopted by Indians and all, right? And when you think about this, obviously, you have to think in what way this particular movement influenced to get the independence, and what way is going to identify the identify the movement of the power of culture in relate to the independence and all. I think you've seen the RRR. I think if it's also see, please check the RRR. Okay, beautiful place picture, undoubtedly. So now you're proceeding towards the Indian culture, heritage, and in languages, right? Indian heritage and different things in different states and all. So unless you know that locally, unless you know the regionally, unless you know the nationally, okay, you cannot venture the outside international. That's why the Indian government want to move on to know you, to know your culture, to know your nation, to know your tribal community. So why the government is stressing on tribal development and all? We have a different department to say for the tribal development. Yes, state level is central level. And we also have our central universities also there for the tribal central university in Vizag. So only to upliftment of the tribal community or in education purpose. See, children, when you think about education, because even when in the part in part of the education, okay, that makes any man or any person to into a human being. When it is said that it's going to transform the animal or human animal, of course, Homo sapiens, or could say that, okay, a beastly mannered, beastly cultured person to into very a humanized, a humane person. With what? With the education. That's the reason. Because, tribal people are the very innocent. And we don't know at, they're very helpful, they're very innocent, and they're very loyal, and they're very helpful also. But if at all you strike them, and again, if you tease their women, tribal women, and tease them, take away their belongings and all without the knowledge, especially tribal lands and all, they cannot tolerate. They cannot tolerate. They see that the end of you. You're aware of the in Andaman Nicobar Islands also. In Nicobar, the Senegalese are there. I think you're aware of that, right? So even Senegalese are, they're all originally, we don't know, because it was known that Senegalese are from South Africa. During that time, they came to the India, that is Andaman Nicobar Islands, and settled there. I think there were only some hundreds right now, maybe 300 up to 150, 200 tribal population is right now. And think about Nicaragua and really Senegalese tribal community, because they don't want to allow any outsider into the land and the island. They want to live on their own. They want to protect themselves from the outsiders. Even Indian government tried for that, but they could not venture into the Nicaragua and Nicobar Islands, and they were secluded. I could say that they were marginalized. I could say that they were not allowed right now. Okay, yeah. So that I could say that there are all cultural studies you had undertaken anything, and these are all I'm talking about this. No, there was once it was a mission. Now it is a more commission. Every newspaper, every media want to believe that profit is important for them to run the business, and also and relate to any to empower them. When you empower them with the more advancement according to the technology, in relate to the capital investment, in relate to the furniture, fixed assets and all. Okay, ma. Definitely, it become you can foresee the future in very beautiful way. So here, me to say that unless we improve our, may say that could say the reach of the public, is it clear? So the power of the media cannot be known to you, right, ma? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I think Ranjit Chandran has joined. Vishrudha has joined. Right. Now, so yeah. Vishrut, any syllabus you come across? Because I could find new faces only. Anybody could, where if I don't know, because, yeah. I think we could understand what is called priming and all, proximics and all, social exchange theory, social learning theory, social penetration theory, spiral of silence. Are you aware of this? Spiral of silence, right? Yeah. What is called spiral of silence? Spiral of silence. Mean to say that here, the people are less likely to express their opinions if they are in the minority. This is because they fear they will be isolated by the majority and suffer social rejection. This is called spiral of silence. I mean to say that, suppose you're in a group and somebody has spoken something. Maybe you want to something relate to your hostel opening, and hostel won't be open for the university students. Maybe, okay, and the college is reopened after the Diwali, after the Ugadi and all. So when you think about this statement was given, when you get the information from the state government, from higher education authority, higher education council, okay, so obviously the students who are staying in the hostel may not get accommodation in the hostel, because unless they open the hostel, they cannot venture it, they cannot enter the hostel, and they should get the fee, they get the food and all, right? So obviously this is opinion expressed by the different students, and when one person will be there, where it cannot be neither say yes nor no, he'll be quiet, silently observe the group, what they're thinking, what they're discussing, what they come across. They come to a conclusion because he prefer to be isolated among the group by the majority. And sometimes he'll be rejected. Some it happens, yeah. And I see, don't misunderstand me. Now we know with Dalits and all, Dalit movement is also there, Dalit literature is there, Dalit poetry is there, Dalit personalities are there, very great personalities are also in contributing in the upliftment and again development of Dalit and all, right? So suppose as you are Dalit student, I'm not saying that you should be feel isolated or maybe rejection. No, but still, when you are find majority people are sitting, in a group, and you'll feel like you hesitate to enter in that particular group. Are you aware of that? And unless you know them properly, unless you move them with them every day, or in your studies, you're very well, and other works are very extremely good and all, or maybe photography, maybe arranging some parties and all, arranging some excursions that way. Is it clear? And you have very good political power is there in in your hands and all. You can do the works immediately as it crop up in your mind and all. Obviously, you find till then that's okay. Otherwise, if you're not accepted by the majority in a group, or maybe relate to any issue or maybe communication, obviously you'll be isolated. So that social rejection will definitely hurt you. Is it clear? That's the reason you feel to be quiet. You feel to be silent. That is called spiral of silence. Spiraling the silence in you, where it cannot eject you, it cannot convey to you, may convey to others, and also ejection. Okay, you cannot even tell them, open up yourself, what you want, intent to say that, because you feel be isolation, you feel scared of to say something against anybody or about an issue, right? That's the reason the spiral of silence is also very important related to the communication theories. I think even I discussed about uses of gratification theory. I don't know, because I see now, I see very careful, because repetition, I don't know how it's going to really help you all. Now, uses and gratification theory. So what is that about? Uses and gratifying the users. Of what? We are in the mass media, we are in the media, you're all media students. You're the mass media students, you're using your mobile, using your media, okay? And watching the television, listening to the radio, reading newspapers. Are you not using the media and all? Yes. So while using the particular media, I could say that print media, are you gratifying the content developed by the editor? Is it really satisfying the needs and requirements? Is it really delivering in time and all? Is it really satisfying or gratifying the content usage by using a particular product in the form of print media or maybe television or radio communication? Right. So that way, with this assumption, that it means to say that users and gratification theory looks to answer three questions. That is, what do people do with the media? What are their underlying motives for using said media? And what are the pros and cons of the individual media use? Right, ma? So obviously, what do people want? What do people do with the media? Obviously. For example, when you read something, because you're all IAS aspirants. So, for example, you're IAS aspirant, maybe JRF candidates. So, what do? You read the newspapers every day. Do you read newspapers? I don't know. So, when you read the newspapers every day, what do? You kept in mind that you're going to write your JRF. You're going to write your UPSC. So, keeping in point of view of the UPSC or JRF in the mass communication, is it clear to you? So, obviously, if you stress, you concentrate or towards a particular issue, what on a particular content. So when newspapers are about to, they are delivering the particular content, they're satisfying your needs and requirements, right, ma? So this you're satisfying, that is the newspaper satisfying with the great content, with the great presentation, with the great inputs, with the great points, with the related points are noted in particular feature or maybe editorial and all. Obviously, it gratifying you by whom? By using the particular product, information, communication, content present in the newspaper and all. So that way, what this media is going to help you? What are you going to do with this particular incident, particular important content? Right? Is it going to implement a lifestyle? You're going to change the lifestyle and all? Is it going to help, in your neighbors, maybe growth or education and all? Right? Maybe you're interested to have everyday class and all, right, ma? So this is also very important, relate to each and everything relate to the users and gratification theory. It should satisfy you and you find the answer and what is the motive for using the social media? That is, what are the underlying motives for using the said media? If it all use the media, in what way is going to help me? In what way is going to motivate me to do the best and all? In what is going to motivate me? What is the motives behind about the print media, television, or radio communication? Okay, now, and when you can really intend to say to me, what intend to inform me, right? And what we're going to develop that, what we're going to really help me, what we're going to really benefit with that particular content presented on different channels and all. So that's the reason we have to know each and every individual media, what the pros and cons of the product. Is it clear? For that, no, for example, you want to, ETV want to launch a new channel, okay, in the respective group and all. Obviously, we had tried in ETV Bharat, and now it is ETV Bharat. It was the ETV Bihar, ETV Bangla, ETV Telugu, ETV so and so, vagara. Okay, now it could not run fast. They could not run as earlier it was because very expensive. Recruitment each and every district capital has to be there. For example, there is a Mishra was there in UP, Lucknow as a correspondent for the Bachpan Express. For this particular live telecast and all. So when you think about this also, mean to say that you have every right to know what's happening in your media and all, right? So that way, that satisfying the individual pros and cons of the media is also important, right? What the pros and cons, what are the benefits are going to get, what are the demerits are going to get when I use this particular content. As I take an example, okay, now we have a different studies circles are cropping up in Hyderabad, especially NEET, engineering, Okay, this is the time now. I think it's going to have in next month. You have entered MSET examination also. Okay, child. So obviously, you feel like we get the heat, we get the fire right now, and you want to study and in a short time, and you need to have very good rank, and we need to join in the Osmania Medical College, for example. Okay, now for that to get into medical college, you have got the reservation is there. You got the good rank also. You got your parents are they worked in Osmania Medical College as superintendent, some vagara vagara. You got the quota also that also, right? So you have so many assets are there, but luckily at the moment you may not like to join in that particular case and all, right, ma? So this is also relate to the media impact on the audience. Is really benefiting the person and again the user and all, right? So that is the reason this uses a gratification theory uses the media, mass media, and we should always think that in what way it's going to help me, in what is the disadvantage it has, right? So along the content you also see children, even agriculture, even advertisements also part of the product, and the media is a part of the media, right? For example, you want to advertise on a documentary, on a document, okay, it is going to released by you in the theater, or maybe right way he'll open the may say that the website, maybe book or vagara vagara. So when you find such things are available with the help of the media, basically the people believe you, and also they definitely help you to grow in your business and all, right? Yeah. Yeah, what is proximic theory? Yeah. See, India, see, anyway, if you go to abroad, we adopt ourselves, adopt the culture, the language, and also their eating habits and their talking nature, the talking culture, communicating culture, quite different than India, right? So, what I'm talking about this proxemics. Proxemics is a theory looks at how different cultures develop this defined space on an unconscious level. People internalize three types of space. What is it? Space about what is space means? Yeah, time, I could say that, and especially related to the print media. Obviously, whenever space only we can put the work and paste the story now. Is it clear to you? Yeah, that way they should do it. Yeah. Now we have the yeah. This is the proxemics means no, where you can get intimate in a different space, in a space. You develop some intimacy with somebody. See that can be carried out in future, may not be carried out, can be carried out, may not be carried out. It's very difficult to ask the question. It's difficult to say that. Okay. So here, what I mean to say that here, mean to say that you have to develop intimate space, intimate relations, if at all you're interested in that particular bubble. Otherwise, it may turn into a bubble for friends and intimate relationship and matter. Is it clear? So please try to understand what I'm telling you. And proxemics, and this is all related to the how connected with the persons, how connected with the well off and all, how connected with each and every person relate to the uh, when you're working in an organization, right, ma? So that is, please keep in mind when you're taking up anything, we have to make the proxemics means, we've gone with different to cultures and all. The other day, yeah, professors, many of the professors are there, though they are a forward caste, for example. Okay, ma, but still they come to Garland Ambedkar sir with a reverence, with a lot of respect. Why the Jayanti was celebrated in Andhra Mahila Sabha for even for the principal also, right? So I mean to say that when the principal comes to know about the Ambedkar Jayanti, obviously she may write down, report and all. She may try to do it. Okay, now. So, suppose one woman, she's not ready to provide information. You can find some other person, some other story, some other way, some other maybe in the form of bottles and in the form of advertisement, in the form of the story, shadi and all. So is it clear? See, when think about cosmetics, obviously it should go for the men or girl child. Then think about when I think about the uh, mango leaves, even that also becomes a part of the festivity season and all, right, ma? So obviously, I have to think in what are the pros and cons when you use individual media also, right? Now, see, we have so many channels are there, so many private channels are there. Many undertake the channels, and they incur some losses also. And if at all it is not so impressive, and also it all depends on how best you, that is the teacher, has to work in a better way, right? Yeah. Yeah. What is the next topic, ma? Anybody could tell me? What is information theory? Yeah, this I want to tell you. What is information theory? Yeah. Do you think that information theory and communication theory are the same or different? Yeah. Hello? Yes. What is information? How you can measurable? Is it measurable in quantity? Does it reflect on the reader's ability to understand the question mark, question, and again they come back to you? Yes, children, let me know. Yeah. See, when you think about information theory, it's all exclusively the form of communication theory. Okay. This is a part of the okay, the series of information passed to one to many, right? The transformation of information. For example, we're talking about information. What is the information that is measured in the quantity also, right? Mean to say that what is the ability of the readers or the audience also distinguish one symbols to another, right? So yeah, unless you know the language, unless you have ability to understand what been told by the communicator or which transmitted by the radio or television, okay, you should have the capacity to for the information provided by the communicator or maybe the transmitted and all. So for that, you cannot you cannot blame somebody or relate to information, right? So that way, and here relate to the information provider also, right? We have to you have to take into consideration relate to the how the communicator is able to understand reachable to the receptors or receivers mindset and all. So as for the designated or the intended receiver, the communicator or the transformation or could say the information should be provided to them such that they can really understand the concept or could say the content delivered by the communicator or the informer with the help of the information theory and all. Because it's only the what is essentially is inform you, that is it informs that is it transmits or you could say that informs you in the form of communication, in the form of content by the different process of communication. You can think about no digital communication. When you think about digital and integrated media and integrated communication, when you think about face-to-face communication, when you think about, don't you think that all information theories are also been adopted and related to telecommunication and all? Yes. So yeah, digital media, digital communication, digital revolution, they're also form of the information theories only better. Okay, now. So these are all related to the information theory and relate to the theories you come across in your theory part. Now, I would like to ask you one. Yeah, this is the theory. Would like to conclude this. We know what is called critical social theory in communication. What is critical theory? What is social theory? Yeah, because see, we have, for example, when you watch any program, or maybe if you go to any Ravina Bharati, as a journalist, see, you're not a commoner. If you're a commoner, you just enjoy, you go for the entertainment only. Maybe you want to engross yourself. You want to see the costumes of the dancer. You want to listen to the musician, the raga. You can distinguish the raga and you can involve yourself, immerse in that particular raga, enjoy, and you can get into that sadhanikan, the rasa, swad, and all. Right. But in the point of the critical theory, the critical point of view as a journalist, as a critic, the questioning, you question themselves, you question and you articulate yourself in what way the program is going to help the audience. What is lacking in the particular performance and all? What is lacking in the costumes and all? Is it the that way you critically analyze each and everything related to the performance art, maybe a painting. It could be any book review also. We do a review also. We do the film review, we do the book review, we do the different reviews are being told. Okay, so don't you think it's all critical? Rhetoric is also being told. Yes. So that way, so each and every school, I could say that when you think about the different communication being adopted by the when you say that journalist, I could say that maybe in different schools, and also they have their own way of understanding. They have their own way of communicating to you and different in critical way, right? So for example, suppose when who is called Stuart Hall, he has a form that encoding decoding theory, model of communication. Stuart Hall, he questioned the traditional assumption. He wants to know whether we want to know what is called mass communication. So for example, when you think about encoding and decoding of the particular information, the communication, there's the model of communication where relate to the information communication being adopted by the discourse, or with the relate to the discourse analysis or the semiotics analysis, the power of the media. Okay, now many things they are there relate to the it could be in the linguistic form, in the cultural identity and all. Okay, so there are all things to be taken into consideration when think about critical theory, where the audience will get into the mindset where the audience could understand the particular thing and all. For example, for example, we want to find out what is called cultural identity. What is cultural identity? Yeah. So what is called cultural identity? When think about the mass communication, with encoding and decoding being undertaken by the decoder. What the encoding says and what the decoder says in the form of Stuart Hall, right? So when they relate to the Stuart Hall encoding decoding theory, so where the communication, as I told, because when you think about National Cultural Festival is adopted right now. So what is the encoding right now? Because when you watch the particular performance on the stage, we enjoy it. Many have come to enjoy that moment. Cuisines were arranged and all, many things with beautiful artifacts was were available were in the particular festival and all, the 3-day festival, right? So this is the part of the festival where the people come to enjoy, but as a part of the as a critical analyze, or to improvise a program and all, or to even the question authority, or you can question the artisans. You can find out from the artisans, but come from Ladakh, you come from the Chhattisgarh, you come from the Tamil Nadu and all, or maybe from the Maharashtra and all. So how the benefiting and all? Are they really this? When you find out these things in a critical way, you can explore many things related to the linguistic basis or related to cultural basis and again cultural identity. Because with their dress code, you can easily identify the culture. Is it clear? That also part of the critical analysis, the critical theory, based on the cultures, the performance of the artist on particular festival on that way. For example, suppose that you find a film festival being adopted, maybe different film festivals being shown on different dates and different venues, locations and all. We have Mumbai also they have film festivals, and we have a Kerala film festival has also been there. Even Hyderabad Film Festival will be there. And also literary festivals also been there. Hyderabad Literary Festival is very, very common in each Jaipur Literature Film Festival, literary festival. So on that occasion, many they congregate at one place. They congregate one place and they want to find out how best one is good and all. Right. So they have a conversation will be there, the discussion will be there, the critical analysis will be there and all. They criticize, they critically, they put the questions, they put the question to the author and all. Okay. So that way they could easily understand what the great writer or author, I mean the performer, or we could say the director or the producer or anything related to that, right? They want what the intent to say that. Right. So even recently we have RRR was there. When you put a question to the each and every filmmaker, it may differ from person to person. Because we have the fan following of Ram Charan, we have the fan following of Rajamouli, right? We have the fan following of the NTR. Okay, wagera. So when we think about this, then point of view of these three filmmakers, Rajamouli, right? When you put a question to Bharadwaja, when you put a Bharadwaj, then what he told? No, is it a film? He's just in an interview told that. Is it the expected film from the Bahubali Rajamouli? So there's no meaning to that's what they told. This concept is dissimilar. That was a critical analysis can be adopted when think about RRR film in different audience, on different context, on different mood, environment. Contextuality has also been adopted or should be known to each and everybody, right? So things should be known to everybody, right, ma? Am I getting to you? Shall I? Is it time for us to read more? Time is over. Is it for till 3:30 or 3:00? I think it's 2:00. Right, ma? Okay. I think I may meet you again next week. I don't know how far I'm doing to really helping you all. So sorry to say that. But please let me know. I just asked the Gegiri sir to send me the syllabus, ma. Otherwise, it's very difficult for me. Right? Yeah. See, I can deliver for hours and hours. But the thing is, your purpose should be served, na? Your purpose should be served. Otherwise, difficult, na? Right, ma? Then see you all. See you all next week. 23rd, I think. 23rd is Saturday. Is it Saturday, beta? 21st is Thursday. 22nd, Friday. 23rd is Saturday. Okay. So 23rd, I think we have a class around 1:30. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
1:30 to 3, I think. Yes, ma?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please, I can get back to you at 1:30 to 3. Please stay back on 23rd. And meanwhile, I'll just find out. I'll give a gist of it because I want to make it faster and do it. And yeah, that's I can help you. Right, beta? Yeah, thanks a lot. And I'm so thankful to you for listening to me carefully and patiently. Thanks a lot. Stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.